Hi everyone. In less than 15 minutes, I am attempting to show you how to resolve common accessibility issues in a PowerPoint presentation. The example that you have on the screen is actually being done in PowerPoint for Mac. Depending on your version and operating system, you may have slightly different steps to follow, but the concepts will be the same. So to begin, I am going to go to my Review tab and I'm going to click Check Accessibility. In the right pane, you'll see the accessibility checker with the inspection results. I have here a list of errors, including missing alt text, missing slide title, and some other tips, maybe a duplicate slide title and some reading order errors. These are all very common issues with building PowerPoint, especially for those you might receive from older versions of your textbooks from the publishers. So I'm not going to fix every one of these on the recording for the sake of time, but I will go through and show you how to address each type of issue. So first, let's click on the missing alt text for picture 3 on slide number 1. And you'll notice when you click on that, it actually takes you directly to that slide. I was on slide 1, so that didn't make a change for you. If I clicked slide 3, it brings up slide 3 and shows me what slide where there's an issue. So let's start with the top one. Picture 3 on slide 1 is missing alt text. So there's only one image here. It's this QM logo, and underneath your inspection results in the accessibility checker, be sure to read what the issue is, why you should fix it, and then the steps to fix it will be listed for you below. So this is where you get the more specific step-by-step instructions that are relevant to your version of the software. In this case, I'm going to select my image using my mouse, right-click, select Format Picture, and then in the Size and Properties icon, it's the square with some arrows on it and lines above and to the left of it. Not sure why that image is what it is, but that's what we're looking for visually. There is an option for size, position, text box, and alt text. So we're definitely looking for the alt text area. Don't put anything in the title that's not relevant. In the description is where you enter your alt text material. So in this case, I'm just going to list this as a Quality Matters logo. And that is sufficient. It tells someone using a screen reader specifically what this image is about visually. If it's a more detailed image, of course, you might have to have a longer description to give to convey the meaning that you're trying to get across in the visual sense using words. So this is your alt text description. And I'm going to click on my accessibility checker back over here on that right pane and notice that when I scroll up, slide 1, picture 3 is no longer missing alt text. So let's do the next slide. Again, this is the logo. So I'm going to right click on the image, Format Picture, go to the Size and Properties tab, expand the alt text box if you need to. That's usually just a toggle switch that expands and collapses the field. And in the description box, type in Quality Matters logo. And then I would continue working through, going to each error on every slide and adding alt text where necessary. For the sake of time, I'm just going to collapse that list of missing alt text errors in this example, and we're going to go to the next type of error called missing slide title. So apparently on slide 6, we have this field. Of course, it says click to add title, but there's nothing there. And it is very important that you have a title on every slide in your slide deck and that each title be unique. So we'll just call this title the rubrics, general standards. And that missing error has already resolved in my accessibility checker. So this kind of is a really nice way to keep track of improving your document. It's going to real time clean up and show you what errors are still left. The next one is a duplicate slide title. So if I click there, and you can see in my slide deck over here which one is selected. So number 8 is a course overview and introduction, and it's a duplicate to number 7. Excuse me. So 7 and 8 have the exact same slide title. There's no differentiation, and that was done for a reason. We didn't want to overload too much text on one particular slide, but to fix that, we just need to make some kind of differentiation. So on slide 7, we'll just add course overview and introduction, comma, 1 of 2. You could say slide 1 of 2. You could spell out 1 of 2. You can do that any number of ways, but you just need something different. And if you're going to do that, be consistent in your next slide with your formatting and your labeling. So slide 1 of 2, slide 2 of 2 as regards to the course overview and introduction set. So we still have some missing alt text images to add, but next we have some tips here showing us that the reading order may be off on all of these slides, and this is only a 15 slide deck, so 14 of the 15 slides. It's telling us to check the reading order. And that happens especially when you don't use a built-in design inside of your slides. So let me show you the best way to resolve that so that the error or the tip actually clears and goes away. You're going to want to go to your Home tab, and on your layout, let's make sure this is not just a title and content area, because really we're looking for a slide layout that has a title and 2 content areas. One content area is the logo, and the second is all of this text at the bottom. So 2 content area layouts, and then we can move those around appropriately. So I'm going to change my layout from a title and content to 2 content. And when I do that, it messes up my layout a little bit, so it takes a little bit of finagling here, and it's not too awful bad. So I'm going to select my logo. I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut to cut it. And then I'm going to select the second blank content area, and I'm going to paste. So now instead of having an error, that error has resolved. I'm just going to move my information back where I want it to go. You can also resize it if you'd like to. You can go on into your format picture here, make sure that it has your logo, description, alt text, and then we can readjust the size and location of our 2 content areas. So the trick is use the built-in layouts to begin with, and then readjust where you want things to look visually, and that will clear out the reading order issue. One more time, I'll show you that here on slide 3. I'm going to go to Layout, change it to 2 Content, select that logo there. I'm going to cut it and select my second content area. So that is the active box, and I want to paste my logo or my image there into that area, and then relocate it and reformat the rest of my slide appropriately. So I like the way that looks. It also cleans up the reading order. Now the other thing that you can do to check your reading order, and this will tell you exactly how to do it depending on your version, I'm going to switch to my Home tab and click Arrange, and then look at the selection pane. So you can do a manual inspection of your slide. We'll do that on, let's see, slide 4, because it's still telling us there's a reading order potential problem there. So if I go to my slide 4, Home tab, and again, this is on Mac, I'm going to click Arrange. I'm looking for the selection pane. And within your selection pane, which opens over on the right, just like your format options and your accessibility checker, this will show you the number of objects on your page, and it will tell you the order that they'll be read aloud. The thing to know here is that it will read in the opposite order of the list. So it reads from bottom to top. A screen reader would first read the title, then the content, and then it would read aloud Quality Matters logo, because that's the alt text behind the image. So if I wanted to manually adjust this, then I could just drag it and drop it. So I want it to read title, logo, and then content. And that's the correct order. Another neat thing about this is that if you don't want to display a title visually, you can choose to hide that title. So if there were a reason on my slide that I didn't want it to actually show a title, I definitely need it to be there for someone using a screen reader, but I don't want it there for my sighted students. You can still include the title, but then hide it from your printed version or the visual displayed version. So that's another neat little trick to keep in mind, and that's just a toggle by tapping or clicking any one of these fields. You could take that on or off. So those are the most common issues. I'd be happy to show you or help resolve any other issues that you may come across. If you have questions or concerns, please let me know. Thank you.